Hello, welcome to Statecraft IAS and Social Perspectives Sociology Newspaper Series. In this series, we shall discuss newspaper articles in sociological perspective and revise relevant sociological concepts in UPSC Mains Sociology syllabus with the help of a newspaper on daily basis. In today's newspaper, it is reported that journalist moves Supreme Court against sedition law. It has a chilling effect on free speech. Now, this sedition, apart from viewing it in political perspective, or our constitutional perspective, or our rights perspective, if we look into it in social perspective, it has become redundant, this sedition law, because Durkheim has introduced some concept called solidarity. He defines solidarity as classifies solidarity as two types. One is mechanical solidarity and the other one is organic solidarity. He says mechanical solidarity exists in such kind of societies which are primitive in nature, whereas organic solidarity exists in such kind of societies which is modern in nature. That means we currently are living in postmodern society. Hence, we are supposed to have organic solidarity but not mechanical solidarity. If we look into the aspects or details of mechanical and organic solidarity, we'll know why sedition has become redundant to this type of society. Because in mechanical solidarity, there is this collective conscience which is very strong, whereas in organic solidarity, there is no strong collective conscience due to specialized division of labor. In mechanical solidarity, solidarity is due to likeness or sameness. That means every individual is doing the same thing and they are distributing resources based on the equality. Hence, because of that likeness or because of that sameness, there exists some kind of bond between them, and that gives rise to solidarity, which is mechanical solidarity in such type of societies. Whereas in organic solidarity, solidarity is based on differences and dependency. That means there is a difference between every two individuals, and there's dependence on every two individuals also. Because as the division of labor is highly specialized, one individual cannot do the entire things which are in need for him. Hence, he requires some or the other person for his needs to be satisfied. For example, if I want to go to office, I want some construction worker to lay roads for me. I want some motor vehicle or cab driver for me to take me to office. Or I want some electrician for me to repair my fan or repair my light for me to work efficiently in office, such that hence there is high rate of dependency upon one another in this kind of societies, and that dependency gives rise to solidarity, which is known as organic solidarity. In mechanical solidarity, laws are repressive and conformity to the social norms is a must. And because there exists collective conscience which is very strong, an individual who is deviating or violating that collective conscience or infringing or hurting that collective conscience is bound to face some heavy response from the society, because he is hurting that collective conscience, and society responds in the same manner and impose punishment upon him. That's why laws are repressive in mechanical solidarity societies, whereas in organic solidarity, laws are restitutive and are aimed at restoring status quo. Because here collective conscience is not very strong, society does not come that much heavily upon the individual who tries to hurt the collective conscience or who tries to deviate from the social norms. Hence, here laws must be restitutive in nature and must aim at restoring status quo rather than impinging punishment upon the individual or hurting the individual in the same manner he has hurt the collective conscience. That's why laws must be restitutive in organic solidarity societies. Otherwise, if the laws are repressive like that of primitive kind of societies, these two things are not in line with the society, with the needs of the society. Hence, there is bound to hurt some social cohesion in this kind of societies, where in organic solidarities, in modern societies, where organic solidarity must be existing. If the laws are not restitutive but repressive, then it is bound to bring some opposition against those laws. And his sedition law is also one such thing. Sedition law is nothing but when an individual tries to speak something against the government. Government thinks that he is trying to come against the government with arms, and he is trying to topple the government, and it imposes sedition law on the individual and it punishes him. Now, this law is surely not restitutive because it is not aiming at restoring status quo. That means it is not calling the individual and asking his demands. And it is not initiating any dialogue or deliberation with the individual. It is not addressing the grievances of the individual with institutional mechanisms, etc. It is just trying to assume that he is going to topple the government or he is going to incite he is going to bring threat to the national security or sovereignty of the country, and it is directly imposing punishment upon the individual. That means sedition law is repressive in nature, which is bound to be in mechanical solidarity kind of societies. But we are currently living in organic solidarity kind of societies. Here, laws must be restitutive, but sedition law is repressive but not restitutive. Hence, in social perspective, also sedition law must be banned or must be taken down, and some alternative law must be put in place of sedition. That's all. And moving on to the next article, here it is said, man dies after being branded with hot iron rod. He was branded in bid to cure him of tuberculosis. Now, this article is particularly about a family which is living in Kainsari, Upper Kainsari, which is only 15 kilometers from Kionjar district headquarter town. In that village, a man was suffering from tuberculosis, and his family members were branding his stomach continuously on daily basis with a hot iron rod because they thought that branding him like that will cure him of tuberculosis. Now, this is a myth, or this is a superstition which is existing in tribal societies. Here it is said, branding appears to be the first line of treatment for any disease in this tribal dominated village. That means that is a tribal village, and that is a superstition which was existing in that tribal village. Now, taking cue from this article, we shall revise Tribal Communities India chapter in our paper 2. In Tribal Communities in India, in the first chapter, there is definitional problems. Mandelbaum says, in tribal life, the principal links for the whole society are based on kinship. Kinship is not simply a principle of social organization, it is also a principle of inheritance, division of labor, and distribution of power and privileges. Now, characteristics of Indian tribes according to Mandelbaum are kinship, which is an instrument of social bonds, lack of hierarchy among men and groups, absence of strong, complex, and formal organization. If there is a strong, complex, and formal organization, such kind of things wouldn't have taken place because there used to be some kind of social regulation which is strict in nature. Hence, the absence of strong, complex, and formal organization can be seen in this particular article. And again, another characteristic is communitarian basis of land holding. Other one is segmentary character. Other one is little value on surplus accumulation, because of which they continue to live in eternal poverty, because there is no, unless there is surplus production, there won't be any profits, and there won't be any mobility from lower status to a higher status. Because there is little value for surplus accumulation, their mobility is almost stagnant. And last one is there is psychological bent for enjoying life. Now, according to T.B. Nayak, these are features of Indian tribes, which are least functional interdependence within the community. They are economically backward. They are comparatively they exist in geographical isolation. They have common dialect. They have influential political organizations, and their community panchayats are highly influential. They have customary laws, and this is again a kind of customary laws, because customary laws always depend on some weird beliefs and value systems. They have some weird social norms. Here, this is also branding one with hot iron rod will cure any disease is one kind of superstition, or it is one kind of belief. That means they have this belief in their customary law. Because of that customary law only, this man was succumbed to death. And there are some commons in general in tribes, that is, their name is in common, their territory is in common, their language is common, they have culture in common, they have endogamy in common, and they have political organization in common. Now, that is all we can discuss from this article in social perspective. That's all we have for today. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to Statecraft IAS. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.